r/rules horror. Hosted by you/inevitable_cookie_74. Rules for living in the house. Hello my dear friend. It's me, Ivan. Did you sleep well? I can see your wounds are starting to heal. You won't be in so much pain anymore. I've also noticed you've been behaving better than my other friends, so as a reward, I'll allow you to stay in the higher levels of my home. You'll be staying in the guest room. Good for you. However, don't think you can plot an escape once you're out of the basement. Try anything with me, and I'll open those wounds again. Here is a list of rules you will follow whilst living in my home. 1. You can use the restroom inside your guest room unless I tell you otherwise. The same goes for the other rooms, your exceptions are the rooms I've given you permission to enter. Living room, den, dining room, the amount of rooms seems small now, but do not fret. Good behavior is awarded with accessibility. 2. Never enter the kitchen, I will cook everything for you. You're hungry? Let me know. 3. Stay out of the punishment room, that room is for bad friends only. I like you, and I don't want you to see the things hidden behind that door. 4. On some nights, I will ask you to sleep in my bedroom. You will accept, do you understand? 5. You will have handcuffs to prevent any escape attempt, they're not cheap ones either, they're the good quality ones that are hard to break. 6. You're always welcome to pet my dog, Rufus. Don't do anything to hurt Rufus or it's to the punishment room with you. 7. You will not have permission to use any electronic devices, I don't want you to have any contact with the outside world. 8. You try to run out the front door. I will catch you, you're far too weak to outrun me. So don't even try it. Now that you have the rules, you can enjoy the luxury my other friends don't have. Living outside of the basement. Think about it, you have a softer mattress, a room and a bathroom of your very own, you get to be with me more than my other friends. You should feel flattered. By the time you read this letter, you'd have noticed the ropes keeping you bound to the old mattress and the mattress has been untied. Make your way upstairs and meet me in the first room to the right. Remember, don't try to run out of the house, either I will catch you or my dog will. Sincerely, Ivan. Hosted by you/inevitable_cookie_74. Do not download the mod memories. I've held this story to myself for weeks, maybe even a few months, I don't know why I need to share this story. Possibly to feel less insane, possibly to have people lie to me and tell me that what occurred didn't occur. However, I know that this will not work, I know what I saw, I know what I've experienced, I'm going to be scarred for the rest of my life. All because I downloaded a mod. It was March 18, 2022 I finally managed to purchase Elden Ring after saving up for some time. I mean after playing the other games developed by From Software Incorporated it was only mandatory that I get their latest creation. I spent so many hours beating the main game, even the side quests and optional bosses. I'll admit, it was a lot of fun to play, and I found myself just like any other gamer after getting a cool new game, checking out mods. I find myself enjoying the cursed mods people create for nothing more than fun. Elden Ring was no different for me. I spend time searching Google, discovering some cool new mods to play, even watching YouTube videos on mods others would recommend. I scrolled for hours and played so many cool mods. It was fun, until one day, I found a video on my recommendation list and saw a video titled, "Do Not Play the Mod Memories." This strange title piqued my curiosity, if only I could have stopped myself. I clicked on the video, thinking this was nothing more than a creepypasta or some ARG someone was making for fun. The video began with a man sitting in a chair, he looked stressed, weak, as if he hadn't slept in days. His voice sounded no better, he sounded as if he was paranoid. As if he was being watched. Listen, whoever you are watching this, I found this mod for Elden Ring, and it's not what I thought it was. Not in the slightest. This thing is a curse, and it's after me. They're after me. I need to get away from them. I have barely any time left, so I'll use my final moments to warn you all, listen, whatever you do. Do not download the mod titled Memories. The video ended, leaving an unsatisfied me questioning the logistics of his words. I immediately went searching for this so-called cursed mod, surprisingly it was rather simple to find. Being a total daredevil, I downloaded it to my PlayStation 4, I then opened my game. I was met with a warning on the main menu, the mod you downloaded is unstable. Are you sure you want to continue? I clicked yes. By clicking yes you acknowledge that the developer will hold no accountability any trauma sustained. That includes mental, emotional, and physical trauma? Once again, I clicked yes whilst admiring the detail the mod developer added just to creep me out. I know what you all are thinking. Those warnings were a big enough red flag. You should have just quit whilst you were ahead. I know, but I was more curious than concerned, so I continued. I customized my character and spawned in the gatefront ruins to begin the run. I ran through the area with a weapon at the ready until I noticed something strange. I was running past enemies, like literally running past them. They didn't seem to care that I was intruding. They just stared at my avatar. Cold, blank, lifeless stares. That sent a shiver up my spine, but it wasn't enough to get me to stop. It was that moment when alarms should have gone off in my head, and if they did, I didn't hear them. I was too intrigued and curious to see more. Whereas the various blank stares were creepy, the voices that followed minutes after were much, much worse. As I walked through the cobblestone streets, I heard the enemies and the NPCs speaking, even though I didn't interact with them. Their voices sounded hushed and secretive, as if they all were hiding something. I could barely make out what was being said, but I made out a few words. Do you remember 1999? The cable came around her neck. She's dead. She died alone. I didn't understand what any of that meant. It was now that I started growing concerned, but I was too infatuated with what I was hearing and what I was seeing. I had to find out more. If the NPCs are this tweaked, what did this developer do to the bosses? I made my way to the first boss, Margit. I was excited to see how the cutscene was changed. As I made my way down the corridor leading to the boss fight, I noticed the feeling of dread looming over me. The entire area felt off, as if I was going to see something I wasn't supposed to. I couldn't ignore this feeling like the other times either. Regardless, I wanted to see more. I entered the boss arena at the entry of Stormvale Castle, and the feeling of dread increased as the cutscene began. Margit's lines of dialogue were kept the same, until he jumped down in front of my avatar. As he lifted his cane to prepare for the battle, the line he said made my blood freeze. It was an accident. I wasn't what he said, rather how he said it. He sounded so distraught. As if he lost the will to live. Then the boss fight started. Margit doesn't do his usual approach, walking slowly towards the player. In fact, he charged at me very quickly. I had no time to react. I managed to move out of his path, and he missed. What happened next scarred me for life. Margit turns around, now bearing a large, sadistic grin on his face along with a crimson red eyeball, staring right into me. He wasn't staring at my avatar, he was looking at me. As if he was possessed. He started giggling. He started walking near me. His face told me enough about what he intended to do if he were to get his hands on me. So I refused to go near him. I was even too scared to hit him with the sword I had. The entire time, I was utterly terrified, albeit impressed as to how the developer of this mod added so much detail to this mod. Instead of attacking me, however, Margit stops and stares at me. Then he walks off of the edge of the cliff, even though that's against his programming. He falls down to the bottom, and I was left a little disappointed by this climax. I was thinking to myself, that's it? A little scare and then the boss kills himself? What a downer. I decided to just walk through the gate and enter Stormvale Castle. As I inch closer to the gate, the feeling of dread returns, even worse this time. I tried to continue to the gate but my avatar stopped and looked up to the sky above. Margit fell, only being caught by a rope around his neck. He was screaming in terror, begging for help as he scratched at his neck. He was panicking, struggling to remove the rope from his neck. I heard him choking and even saw him coughing up blood. I couldn't just leave him there, something in my being told me to help. I attempted to, but to no avail. I couldn't reach him. Margit's seemingly eternal suffering ended as I heard a sickening snapping sound as Margit fell limp, and then fell on the ground. He was dead. I was frozen stiff. I approached his body. His face was frozen in terror and his neck and mouth were covered in blood. I was terrified, but it was just a game. As I stared at Margit's corpse, his body glitched, and I saw the silhouette of a young girl. She looked up at me, and smiled whilst giggling in Margit's voice. She glitched back to a stiff and dead Margit. Seeing that girl's face, looking at me with those hungry eyes, as if she wanted to pull me through the screen. That caused something to snap in me. I realized enough was enough. I decided to turn the game off, only to realize it wasn't allowing me to. Every time I tried to close the application, the game would say too late. I decided to try turning off the game system. No dice. I tried turning off the TV. Nope. I started to panic, not paying attention to the dead Margit getting up on his feet. He stared at me again, this time walking towards the screen, completely ignoring my avatar standing there. He walked so close to the screen I could see his face in all of its morbid detail. The blood from his mouth is still sitting there. His eyes now rolled backwards. He started to speak, this time his voice sounding more distorted than before, as if someone else was talking through him. It's good to see that fool's lies didn't work. He wanted to keep me from making my family larger. It's alright, you'll be a great addition, just walk up to the screen, don't be afraid. Before I could react, Margit started to come out of the TV. He pushed his face against the screen and tried to get into my home. That caused me to panic even more. Fearing for my life, I grabbed a bat I had in the corner of my room and smashed the TV to pieces. The face of Margit retreated into the black screen and I thought it was over. I thought that whatever that was would leave me alone. I even wanted to deny that whatever I saw was real, but I couldn't. It's been 3 weeks since that even occurred, and I can't smother the feeling that I'm being watched. I had nightmares every time I went to sleep, causing me to sleep less. I continue to see the shadow of a noose looming in every dark area I go to. I'm exhausted. This would have never happened if I had just heeded the YouTuber's warning. The latest nightmare I had gave me a message: stop resisting and join the rest of them. I think this is a sign. I can't run away forever. I'm going to be a part of this family whether I want to or not. I don't have much time left. So I'm going to warn whoever reads this. If you see me on the papers and it says I'm missing, I'm dead. So don't even try searching for me. And whatever you do, never download the mod titled Memories whilst playing Elden Ring, or you'll end up dead like us.